Hi, everybody. It's Sunday evening. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. Time for another Region Weather Live here. I hope you had a nice weekend. We've kind of shaken off Labor Day last weekend. This weekend, we're kind of getting into the groove because it's school season, it's work season. There's not a lot of time off this time of year. So I know you're in a routine. So I hope you find Region Weather Live as your Sunday evening routine to take you through the week ahead in terms of weather. We've got a lot to discuss tonight because we've got a very active pattern, including one right now. There's that low that produced all the shower and thunderstorm activity this morning that is pushed on out. But if you haven't stepped outside, it's kind of chilly. I mean, we're talking temperatures in the 50s and low 60s right now, and it's feeling more like fall. This is a little preview. So we'll talk about how long this system sticks around. I think you'll be surprised by some of the high temperature forecasts for tomorrow. And then we've got a week ahead to plan, and I'm going to go long range on you as well. We'll talk about what we're seeing, the extended forecast, all that and more in this Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And welcome into the show, everybody. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I don't know, a couple of you have messaged me and said you've caught our region weather forecast on the radio stations, which is just so cool to me. We've been doing that, getting up early, Monday through Friday, recording those with a whole slew of stations. We've got Indiana 105.5, X-Rock 103.9, and Z 107.1. So if you're on your commute to work, give them a good listen. We've got a nice partnership with them. And really happy to work with them as well. So you'll be catching our region weather forecast. And if we have severe weather, we're going to be doing cut-in coverage on those as well. That's the big point. So I hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday evening. As I mentioned, want to say hi to our early birds here. Susie's excited. She says she can use her oven, which is great. I totally agree. Man, nothing like 95 degrees outside and you're trying to cook something there. Hi, Vicky. Francesca says it's awesome. Let's keep this weather. Rhonda, great to see you as well. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Deshaun. Mike says, but yet back to summer at the end of the week. Yuck. Yeah, not too bad this week, Mike. We are going to get warmer around here, but nothing we can't handle for sure. Hi, Deb. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Gail. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Susie. Hi, JK. Vicky's with us, and Jay's with us saying, how much rain has Kenosha, Wisconsin received today? My goodness, has Wisconsin picked up some rain today? And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And Jan caught us on the radio. That's awesome, Jan. Thank you. And Ken as well. And Eric, hello. Thanks for joining us. All right, we got the whole family here tonight, so we can get started. First, want to thank our sponsors briefly. Grigors Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out of the El Preso area. Jeep season is upon us. I don't want to think about it, and I know you don't either. But we're going to need four-wheel drive soon around here, right? With the snow belt and all the fun stuff we deal with in the wintertime. They've got their new line of Jeeps out. Jeep Wagoneer is my favorite. We don't have one yet. We have a Jeep Cherokee, but I'm telling you, if we keep popping out kids the way we are, we're going to need a Wagoneer soon. So I'm not giving you any foresight in anything in the future. But anyway, Grigors Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the place to go, and we appreciate them supporting us. Also, Tiger Plumbing. If you need a plumber in the area, it's not often you do, but if you do, turn to Tiger Plumbing. It's tigerplumbing.net. They're just amazing. They've helped so many of you, and you've helped them as well, letting them know that Region Weather sent you there. So I appreciate all the business you're bringing to them. They're wonderful. Nothing but 5-star reviews from our Region Weather folks. So tigerplumbing.net if you ever need a plumber. All right, let's get on into this here. This is the low pressure system that we've been kind of looking at this week that would kind of trudge through this weekend. We had the shower and thunderstorm activity on the front end this morning. Most of that's cleared up. We've had a fairly dry day locally. But you saw that comment on Kenosha, Wisconsin. Look what's happened up Wisconsin. I'm going to put my mouse cursor there. They started getting rain this morning, and this low's kind of wrapping up on them. So the rain has just continued. They're talking 4 to 6 inches of rain have fallen up there, and they've got all sorts of flood warnings. Even the north suburbs of Chicago saw anywhere from 3 to 5 inches up towards the Wilmette area. All of this has kind of stalled just north of us. But, if you're kind of into forecasting radar and where this is going to go, the whole thing's winding up like a top right over us. And so eventually that rain is going to swing back in here tomorrow, as you'll see here in the forecast. So I do want to take you through just the short-term modeling. I've got a lot of long-term stuff to show you, but we can certainly plan out tomorrow because that rain is going to switch back in our direction. So let's briefly switch this over. I'm going to go to the 18Z. That gives us the most hours here. And here's what we're looking at. Let's make this screen a little bit bigger for you. How about that? Okay. All right. So as we go through time, this is the HRRR model. You notice how that low kind of wraps up off towards the north. The thing you've noticed with this is a cold core low. So what that means is there's basically cold air stacked up above us. Sometimes, you get warm air stacked up above you. There's layers like a hamburger up in the atmosphere, but it's all cold from here on up. And that wind is bringing some of that cooler air down to the surface. And it's really some cool temperatures underneath this. I mean, we're talking widespread 50s. Tomorrow, some of the models show us not getting out of the 50s. I don't know if I buy that. I'm going to go low 60s, but still tomorrow's going to be a pretty chilly day compared to what we've had. The coolest day since we've had, I want to say back in May was our last mid 60 degree day. I'd have to go back and check, but it's been a while and we're going to be there tomorrow. So here goes this low. Notice how we're dry for most of the night tonight, but as we get in the daytime tomorrow, some of that moisture starts to wrap around. So you can plan on showers tomorrow. We'll likely have a pretty decent overcast, but if we get some sun peaks, we could see it's going to be one of those days where we go from sun to downpour to sun to downpour with kind of like a popcorn pattern on the radar. So definitely some pop-up showers is what we'll call them throughout the daytime tomorrow as that load rotates through. And then Tuesday, we could have a little bit left over in the morning. The models have been picking up on this for a couple days. With that cooler air coming across our warm lake, we may have just a brief little band of some lake effect rain, and that would be Monday night, Tuesday with this. And that could come with some thunder with the warmer air of the lake, the warmer water, and there's warmer air up above it. That creates some instability that we don't have on land. So we could certainly see some thunder and lightning coming out of some of those bands. If that occurs, it would be right in here. So that's Monday night, Tuesday morning. And then the whole thing pulls away. If for some reason you're planning on, I don't know, swimming in Lake Michigan for some reason the next 2 days, don't. Rip current risk is very high. I always feel the need to tell you guys that just in case you are. But anytime we have a northwest wind, the rip current risk is pretty high. All right, check out the cool air with this as well. These are temperatures tonight. Notice how there's widespread 50s, even 40s off towards the north. 50s for us, but look how we barely recover tomorrow. Everyone else away from this low recovers, so 70s and 80s in the plains. You get 70s back towards Pennsylvania, Tennessee. But right where the core of this low pressure is, where that cold air is stacked up in the atmosphere, the HRRR model saying we're only going to get up to about 57 tomorrow. How about that for a high? And then things change markedly behind this as it pulls on out. The Euro had pretty similar thinking, and I'll show you that here in a second, but we'll kind of fast forward on this as we go through time. So does anyone have questions on the short term? I figured I'd break this up into two different sections, and what we'll end up doing is going long term next. We'll talk about the next 10 days, and then we'll get you on your way here on this Sunday evening, all right? Let's see. Hello, keep the chilly weather, says Francesca. Love this cool weather tonight, says Mari. Keep popping. Rhonda likes to keep popping this kids out comment. Mike says he believes we're going a very nasty winter ahead of us. Mike, it's going to be interesting as always. I'll tell you what, we're really starting to stack the snow up in Canada right now. The last couple falls, we've had near record snow cover in North America, north of us. And that tends to lean towards colder winters. We'll see. We're still kind of stuck in a La Nina pattern, so that can tend to bring us some systems that have a lot more moisture in the eastern half of the country. But really, it's going to be a week-to-week thing. Let's see. Joe, I got your comment. I'm not going to post that. I agree. Deshaun says, if that system comes off Lake Michigan, would it go beyond a thunderstorm to severe capabilities? I don't think so, Deshaun. The biggest threat from any storms we get from lake effect would be heavy rain. We could get some hailers out of that as well. Again, this is not going to be a widespread thunderstorm event. It's not even in the forecasting. The models aren't showing thunder and lightning or anything like that. I'm just telling you from past experience, when we get colder air in cold core lows across our warm lake this time of year, it can tend to produce some thunderstorms. So I don't think anything severe out of that. And again, that would be Monday night and a Tuesday as we get the core of that cold air over us for sure. Okay. Brett, whenever you say we'll get you on your way, you sound like a pastor whose sermon has got a bit too long. Oh, that's funny, Brett. That's awesome. Yeah, it's like you have better things to do, right? I know you guys do, though, so I appreciate you spending the time with me just to talk weather. I used to, growing up in church, I used to time our pastor. I used to time her sermons, and she'd always say, at the end or towards the end, she'd say, Matt, are we doing okay? And I'd be like, 54 minutes, Pastor. And I don't know why I did that. I don't think I'm sure I listened to some stuff, but man, I should have paid more attention. Anyway, okay. Ann's last comment here, then we'll get to the long term. Getting ready for campfires, s'mores, sounding good, and it's that time of season. Maxwell brings up a good point. Any water spouts next couple of days? Maxwell, I absolutely, yeah. We can see water spouts anytime we get cooler air over our warm lake. Water spouts are not severe. They spin up because of the warm water rising, and it tends to circulate. So we could see some. Again, I would probably hint at that Monday night, Tuesday timeframe, Maxwell, for any water spout development. So again, not a good time to be out boating or swimming in the lake. Most of the water spouts occur usually early in the morning as you start to get some lift out of that water and the sun starts to come up. So there you go. All right, let's go long term on this, shall we? Let's talk about the rest of the week ahead. And I want to go kind of longer term into the middle and kind of the early latter half of September, if that makes sense. All right, so here's where we go this week. Guys, I think we have a delightful week out ahead of us. I really think this week looks good once we get this low out of here. So the Euro gets its low out of here, same timing, Monday night, Tuesdays, when it finally gets on out of here. You notice this thing just winding up like a top, very fall-like in nature. And you can see how there's not a lot of moisture on the backside of this either. So we're not going to see as much rain as Wisconsin saw today on the backside of this. So by Tuesday, it's out of here, bringing back sunshine. Tuesday, we'll likely see improving conditions throughout the day. Still cool, probably upper 60s, low 70s as that system pulls on out. That sun will help, though. Wednesday, we're looking really nice. High pressure takes shape over the plains. Just beautiful Wednesday, probably mid to upper 70s. Thursday, we're talking more sunshine. And then as we look towards next weekend, right now, I want to keep us dry. There's going to be some kind of system taking shape towards our west, but it doesn't look to get its act together. It looks like kind of an area low pressure to me that heads up into Minnesota. And then there's kind of a trailing front that just stalls west of us. And then it's kind of waiting on another low pressure to develop. Bottom line, that should keep us dry next weekend. I don't see a real good signal for rain on any of the models. I combed them all. You notice Saturday, that system kind of heads up north. And the way the Euro handles it, it develops kind of another system along that same frontal boundary, which is well north of us. This is now Monday, Tuesday of next week. And then you can see towards the end, this brings some kind of system in here. This system here, I think, is going to be interesting. I would mark your calendars for Wednesday the 21st through about Friday the 23rd of September. The GFS kind of latches onto it. I feel like the Euro's got a pretty good example of it. We'll see if this holds in the model, but just by the looks of this system, by the looks of the pattern change, will likely be during that time frame, 21st through 23rd. It looks to me like kind of, I don't want to say blast of fall-like air. That's such a media term, because it catches your attention, right? But it looks like some kind of chunk of fall-like air is going to be coming down. And by fall-like, I mean 40s and 50s coming into the U.S. With that, we're probably going to be well in 80s. Like, we're going to warm up as we get into the latter half of the week, the weekend, and beyond that. Nothing crazy hot, but warm. And that warm air and the cool air clashing, obviously that spins up a storm system. We haven't seen any really strong storm systems because we don't in August and September. Everything's just kind of flatlined, right? The system we have right now isn't really a clash of air masses. It's just a cold core low that's moving through. This could be the first strong front that we get in here where we see a markedly different temperature behind it. We could see some severe weather on the front end of that as well. Somewhere in the Midwest. But anyway, it looks like things get interesting in terms of a pattern change sometime, not this week, but the following week. So we're talking again, 21st through 23rd, somewhere in there. So just keep that in mind. I always like to plant seeds, and that's what I'm seeing right now in terms of the modeling. And that certainly could be true. All right, last thing I want to show you are temperatures, because this is quite a journey that we go on here this week. Here's tomorrow. I want to show you what the Euro is saying. These are your high temps. The Euro keeps us in the upper 50s as well. Look at that, just cold pocket of air right over Northwest Indiana. So sweatshirt kind of day tomorrow, light jacket kind of day tomorrow. We're going to have showers around, as I mentioned. We do start to warm things from there. Tuesday, there you go. We're in the low to mid 70s. Wednesday, we'll do better than that. You notice how we're up into the mid and upper 70s. Look at this cool air up in Canada, though. Highs in the 50s up in northern Michigan. Meanwhile, we've got 90s from Texas up towards areas of Kansas. So a little battle going on. Thursday, not too bad. We'll start to warm things up, low 80s. Still some cold air up towards the north, though. If you take a trip up to the UP of Michigan or northern Minnesota, we're talking 50s for highs. So that fall-like air is making an appearance. And then we're talking a warmer pattern into the weekend. All indication right now is that we'll be in the 80s. The Euro says low 80s on Saturday. It says upper 80s on Sunday. Or I'm sorry, low 80s on Friday, upper 80s on Saturday and Sunday. Some of the other models are a little bit lower than that. So we'll just say 80s for now. Low to mid 80s looks good. And then this really doesn't change. We stay in this warm air mass until that front that I was talking about starts to enter the northern plains, and we'll see how that ends up. But overall, a pretty warm week, lots of sunshine once we get beyond this low pressure system here, okay? All right, let's answer your questions, and then as the priest says, we'll get you on your way because you've got NFL football to watch, right? Important things in life. How about the Bears, huh? Justin Fields, anybody? Okay, let's see. Deshaun asked a great question. You think we could do one more severe weather scenario before winter? Deshaun, absolutely. Once these air masses start to, fight it out again, in the springtime, it's the warm air that wins by the end of it, right? And the fall time, it's the cold air that wins eventually. So, the severe weather chances ramp down. But boy, I think we're going to get several opportunities, Deshaun, before winter season starts for severe weather. It's almost like a second season. October tends to get pretty active around here in terms of severe weather. It's usually not severe weather that lingers. It's usually a passing front, damaging winds, stuff like that. But we can't rule this time of year as well. But I don't see any threat for that until maybe that system later next week, depending on how that kind of shakes out. Hi, David. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Deshaun, no problem. Oh, Caitlin's excited. She says, bear down. Caitlin had a long day of watching football, I'm sure. It's nice to have NFL back. It is. All right. Well, I don't see any questions coming in, and that's okay. Hopefully, that tells me that I explained everything, or even probably gave you more than you need to know about the week ahead. So that's it. Okay. All right, everybody. As always, gracious that you joined us here. Maxwell, thank you. Perfect forecast, he says. Okay, I have one question coming in. David says, is it supposed to storm for my cornhole on Tuesday at 6? David, no. I think this low pressure will be out of here. We're going to be a little showery Tuesday morning, but we should have clearing skies by then. Okay, so you should be good to go there, buddy. Deshaun asks, am I dressing up for Halloween? I don't know. We have to get the kids' costumes first. I think they're all going to be some form of either a panther or a cat. So if they make a costume large enough for me, I may go as a giant cat. I'm not sure. The kids decide all this stuff, so I'm not into deciding what it is every year. But anyway, that's it. Great question. Jay, you're welcome. Susan, have a great night. Angel, thank you. Have a great week to you as well. And Mike, God bless you as well. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back with updates this week. And as always, we're on local radio now. So, all right, thanks so much.